Today we're talking about one of the darkest anime to come out of the fall anime season, and this one is pretty damn brutal. For those of you who love an MC driven on getting revenge against an empire that has distinguished itself as one of the most disgusting forces the world has ever seen, then you're going to absolutely love this one. The Kingdoms of Ruin wasn't on my radar at all this season, but after it was strongly recommended to me by my editor, Arigato editor, I trusted his wise counsel and checked this out, and man, was this something I would have been mad at missing out on. This anime has some seriously huge potential to be one of the best new anime of the fall season, and even if it's not dubbed with a title such as, it's still an anime that has this brutal grittiness to it that has my curiosity seriously piqued for what's to come. The Kingdoms of Ruin is a dark blend of science fiction and fantasy. The series is set in a world where witches have blessed humanity. They protected them from disease, starvation, and war. However, because of their immense power, humans felt uneasy to the point that dread ran wild, resulting in the hunting down and annihilation of every witch. With the witches on the run, the Redia Empire has employed fast gear expansion to advance science and technology to the point where they no longer require witches. Now, in the first episode, we meet the Ice Witch Chloe and her young pupil Adonis, who are fleeing the Redia Emperor. When they are seized by technology they had no idea existed, Adonis, who was raised by Chloe, witnesses the cruel death of his beloved mentor. Adonis swears revenge on humanity after a dramatic display of humiliation and brutality, which, of course, sets up the story. Like what you've heard so far? Well, consider hitting the like button for me, as it really helps me out with the algorithm. And if you want more videos such as this, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified. I'm trying to reach the goal of 200,000 subscribers, so let's reach that together. Arigato. Now back to the video. The Kingdoms of Ruin, as I mentioned, wasn't on my radar at all, but after being told of its revenge theme, I felt instantly compelled to check out what this anime had to offer. I'm a huge sucker for the revenge themes in anime, but I find there is no middle ground with them. They're either done really good or executed really bad. Sometimes the reason as to why a character is seeking out revenge is a little too easy to predict, as you're aware that there is a reason as to why there will be this aspect. But with the Kingdoms of Ruin, though you knew that Chloe was ultimately going to die, the way that they did it really had this dark and gritty aspect to it that captured my attention and didn't make it feel cheap. In fact, far from it. Screw the Redia Empire, man. They're jerks. It's the way we visually saw it affecting Adonis, as well as the pretty outstanding job his VA, Kaito Ishikawa, did at voicing this particular scene that it just felt so real and believable. Though we saw it coming, it still had this aspect of that shock factor through disbelief of how the death was carried out and the moments leading up to it. And I think another thing that can impact these revenge anime is the way that the revenge is carried out, and also the means by which the bad guys further fan the flames of anger in the protagonist. We of course don't want that anger to fizzle out, but instead burn deeper, and we want this to be done in a convincing way through the actions of said bad guys and just how much of a jerk these evil characters are and can be. I've only seen a couple of episodes as I'm voicing this, so it's way too early to tell if they've managed to pull this off in the Kingdoms of Ruin, but from what I've seen so far, it's definitely been set up correctly and in the right direction for my tastes. It also does a really good job of ending an episode on a cliffhanger moment that makes us as viewers desperate to find out the outcome without it being tiresome. Now, in that first episode, we were also introduced to the main female protagonist, Dorica, and I was really intrigued to see how they were going to fit her into Adonis's big revenge on all humans play. Episode 2 answered that in a way that I just totally wasn't expecting. I won't mention the hows and why for spoiler reasons, as you know, I've said too much about this anime already, and I strongly urge you to check this one out for yourself, but I'm very excited to see how their dynamic grows, as she'll no doubt also be used to further fan those revenge flames Adonis is going to need to keep this anime fresh and interesting. Animation wise, I was also impressed by this one. Yokohama Animation Laboratory is the studio adapting The Kingdoms of Ruin. Overall, Yokohama Animation Lab is able to capture and honor both genre styles very well. It was amazing to witness Chloe utilize her ice magic. It looks really clean and had an essence of the power that her magic has visually. The futuristic element of this world was also brought to life very well, mixing both genres in a way that one doesn't feel out of place in the other. The expressions on the characters' faces in these big moments was also done really well. Facial expressions and the way emotions are conveyed visually are another key selling point for me in revenge anime. And I gotta say, they knocked it out of the park here so far. The sound design in this anime has also been great. As for the OP and ED, nothing that you're gonna remember once the season is over, but they match the tone and mood of this show perfectly. They're slower tracks that have a kind of haunting vibe to them, which I'm all for in this case. So I think if you're a fan of anime like Elfen Lied, The Rising of the Shield Hero, 91 Days, my personal favorite Code Geass, and even maybe redo of Healer, then I think you'll definitely vibe with The Kingdoms of Ruin, or at least want to check out its first couple of episodes. It has the revenge plot down and the essence of both sci-fi and fantasy, so I think this show fits nicely amongst pretty much all of those titles if you're a fan of them. I've been really impressed with what The Kingdoms of Ruin has had to offer so far, and I feel like it's probably still too early to tell if this is just a good anime or a very good anime. For me, I feel like I still need to see more of the MC Adonis to see if this anime has me completely sold. You know, the difference between I need to check this out as soon as it airs every week, or I'll just watch this and catch up when I have the time. For Adonis, the reasons are there for him to bring down humanity, sure, but there's always that swing between, you know, a guy that's truly been effed over and an MC who's more of a bratty, I hate everyone with no real substance. From what I've seen so far, I think he could be the first one, and he definitely has that brutality down to his character and actions. I'm very excited to get more dialogue from him so that his motives are made, clear to us above the obvious, of course. Now, The Kingdoms of Ruin is currently airing on Crunchyroll on Saturdays, and I honestly think you should give this one a go if you haven't checked it out already. I'm also interested to see what the pacing of this show will be like, as I've seen that this one is listed for 12 episodes. Hopefully it'll be good though. If you have seen The Kingdoms of Ruin already, let me know what you think about it. Did you enjoy this show, or is it not for you? Let me know in the comment section below. And while you wait for the next video to drop, why not check out this video where I talk about my first impression of Shy, which I think is another of the best new anime this fall season. But guys, that's it from me. I'll see you soon for some more. Till then, you take care. Peace, peace!